opening ceremony of the CPA Small Branches Conference. It is indeed a very special pleasure for me to welcome all the distinguished delegates, my dear colleagues and friends, the honorable parliamentarians of CPA Small Branches, and also the members of the Executive Committee of CPA, to my home country, Bangladesh, hosting the 63rd Commonwealth Parliamentary Conference, CPC 2017.
Small Branches Chairperson, Honorable Angelo Farrugia MP, Speaker of the House of Representatives of the Parliament of Malta.
The new CPA Small Branches Strategic Plan will focus on the key areas of work to achieve these objectives and will strengthen and promote CPA Small Branches network for the benefit of its members.
The CPA Secretary General, Mr. Akbar Khan.
Goal 16 provides a new impetus for parliaments to represent the people's voices and interests in the oversight of government. And in this area, there is clear research from the World Bank that better parliamentary scrutiny and oversight of public spending strengthens the democratic process and in turn is linked to lower levels of public corruption. Ultimately, a strong parliament forces government to perform better than it would if it could not be questioned, challenged or sanctioned.
The 36th Commonwealth Parliamentary Association CPA Small Branches Conference has been held in Dhaka, Bangladesh, with membership parliaments and legislatures from CPA Small Branches attended the conference. The conference discussed a new CPA Small Branches strategy, which, for the first time in the CPA's 106-year history, will seek to meet the unique developmental needs of its smallest legislatures through key thematic areas and developmental activities that will build parliamentary capacity for CPA small branches and create greater opportunities for the sharing of knowledge, parliamentary strengthening, and cooperation across the network.
Welcome to our program, dear viewers. We are talking to Honorable Mr. Angelo Farrugia MP, Speaker of the House of Representatives, Parliament of Malta, and Chairperson of the CPA Small Branches. Today's topic is the 36th Small Branches Conference of the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association, CPA. Thank you very much for joining with us. First of all, I would like to know what's the major activities of the CPA Small Branches across the region?
We do a lot of activities during the year. And we are divided into 7 regions. Of course, my region, including the Mediterranean, and of course, we comprise a particular region. But there are the Pacific region, the Caribbean region, the Asian region, the African region. So all these regions of the small states comprise the small branches of the CPA. Of course, the activities are mainly concentrated in good governance, in ensuring that the young people not only interested in doing politics, but in doing the right politics, the democratic values. We address issues also of communication, how we communicate each other. So all this is the reason why the CPA for the last 36 years have decided that besides the big branches like Bangladesh, India, England itself, etc., they also focus during the conference, which is one of them. This is a very important conference here in Dhaka, where the first 2-3 days of the conference are allocated for the small branches. In fact, we are on our 3rd day, and hopefully tomorrow we will conclude also our work, when then we participate, all of us, the small branches, in the big conference, that is the conference where all the members of the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association are members, and we participate for the following 2 days of the CPA conference. So that is the reason why. Now, an important step which I wanted to say to you is that last year, that was December 16, The conference was held in London. It was supposed to be held here, but for reasons of security, it was held in London. But today we are here, and there were amendments in the Constitution of the Commonwealth, where it has been decided that there would be election for a chairperson to represent the small branches and small nations of the Commonwealth, and will have also a strong voice in the ESCO, that is in the Executive Committee of the Commonwealth, which will be meeting today, this morning, and also will have also a voice and a vote and a full membership in the coordinating committee. And that election took place last year. I was elected to represent the small nations, and from then onwards we started working on a very important document, which is the Small Branches Strategic Plan, which I wrote, which I communicated with the Commonwealth, and which during the last Executive Committee, which took place in Australia in April, in Darwin, it has been decided that I will organize a meeting for all the regions of the small branches to discuss in detail the strategic plan for the small branches. That was held in October this year in Valletta, in Malta, in the parliament which I preside. We did go into that strategic plan. We agreed after making some amendments, minor amendments, and we proceeded to explain the strategic plan in Dhaka.
How the small branches will be benefited?
Yeah, the benefit is enormous, because now we are organized not only for the conference, but we have a political foresight where we are saying we have to work on capacity building, we have to work together how we communicate better, we have to work together how we have better governance, we have to work together in order to ensure that young people join in the political arena without fear, that there are the mechanisms to fight corruption, that there are the mechanisms to protect their rights vis-à-vis the democratic principles of any country. We agreed, and we now have a plan to discuss what is the major problems that we are facing as a whole.
What kind of steps have been taken for building parliamentary capacity for CPA small branches?
We have to ensure that parliaments will have their own budget. They have to be preferably autonomous, so that there would not be any condition from the executive, and also capacity building in having the right tools for any parliament, even in the smallest parliament of the smallest branches. We have branches with just a few thousand people, so that whatever is needed is collectively coordinated. And when we agreed on that, we agreed also that then we have to transform that in watching ourselves. You have to have an accountable exercise, an accountability exercise, that what you say within the next 2 years, because this is a strategic plan for 2018 and 2019, which will have also the budget that comes from the Commonwealth, that will be transformed in these initiatives, including thematic subjects for particular areas, especially in those island branches that are facing terrible problems with the climate change.
This year, how many branches of the CPA have participated at the 36th Small Branches Conference?
Well, from the 43, I can say the majority of them. I don't have the exact figure, but I would assume that over 30 branches are present in Dhaka. Some of them didn't make it in the Caribbean, because, as you know, because of the hurricane that took place in the Caribbean, some of them really suffered devastated damage. but they were represented at least by other branches within the Caribbean, and also some of the Pacific branches of the Pacific Ocean couldn't make it because of the hurricane. But all in all, we are highly represented. Yeah, highly represented.
What's the Small Branches Strategic Plan 2018-2019 that will provide small branches with the opportunity to develop their own objectives within the overall strategic plan of the CPA?
Yeah. What has been done is that the document has been circulated. It is a very strong document. It has been explained in the opening of the Small Branches Conference yesterday morning. We discussed it in detail in the first session of the plenary of the Small Branches. Today, we will continue on discussing other areas. There will be the recommendations where there will be a vote on every recommendation. Yesterday, 4 of the recommendations, the first session, were all approved with an absolute majority. So there's this initiation. Of course, the document will also be now discussed in the plenary, in the General Assembly of the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association here in Dhaka in the following days. So I cannot tell you what's going to happen, but hopefully it will be given the green light, and I will have the plan for the next 2 years for the small branches.
If you tell that, how many thematic areas were identified so far?
Well, so far there are 3 particular areas, thematic subjects. The top one is climate change. The second one is engaging young people. And the third one is fighting corruption. I mean, corruption is also, and this is the result of also surveys that was commissioned for the small states and small branches last year in 2016, where all the branches were asked to identify which areas of concern they think that should be addressed by the small branches group. And these are the 3. Of course, we are also considering whether we should engage other branches that have a population of over 500,000, but less than 250,000. But that has to be addressed because we have to change the constitution, we have to change the definition of what is a small state. And in order to address all this, in Valletta, during the Valletta meeting this year, in October, we decided to have an ad hoc steering committee, which has been appointed. It comprises of myself as the chairperson and the representative of the regions. And then, of course, that will be rubber stamped properly during the next executive committee meeting, which will be held in Mauritius coming 2018 March.
What's your expectation from the 36th Small Branches Conference of the CPA?
Well, my expectation hopefully is that what we discussed during these last months and what we decided in Valletta during the meeting of the regions with regard to the Small Branches Strategic Plan will be also now endorsed by the General Assembly of the Common Parliamentary Association here in Dhaka in the following days.
What's your opinion about the parliamentary democracy of Bangladesh? Actually, how much strong is the parliamentary democracy of Bangladesh than that of other countries?
I know very well the Speaker of Bangladesh. She has been our chairperson of the Common Parliamentary Association for the last 3 years. She did an excellent job. And she did a lot of things that were never done in the previous 20 years. For example, she gave the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association a belonging also in the international field with other international organizations. But I want to say that, for example, we are trying very hard that we have a status in the United Nations, for example, as a Commonwealth. That has been always discussed, but nothing was realized. During her 3-year term, we are a very advanced stage of addressing this problem. I was appointed during her office also to represent the Commonwealth in the steering committee of other international organizations like the World Trade Organization, the International Parliamentary Union, the European Union. So with regards to democratic values of Bangladesh, when you work with such a person like your speaker, yes. I definitely have a very positive reaction to the democratic values here in Bangladesh.
I wish you all the best and thank you very much.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.